you live, uninterrupted commentary of this Betfred Championship Round 19 clash between Featherstone Rovers and London Broncos. It's a big game in the context of Fev season, and a win this afternoon could take Paul Cook's side back into the top six. They'll jump as high as 5th place with a win this afternoon, with both Barrow and Halifax losing earlier in the week. And they come in against a London side buoyed by a big 48 points to 4 win over Sheffield last time out, but have been in indifferent form since being relegated from Super League, with just 5 wins to their name all season. Featherstone come into the game in relatively good form, winning 7 of their last 9 matches, but coming off the back of a disappointing and agonising 24-22 defeat at the hands of Toulouse in France last week. A good performance from Paul Cook's side, just not getting the result, but come back on home turf this afternoon, desperate to get back to winning ways. We've got the team news as we approach kick-off here this afternoon. We'll start with London, who make 3 changes to their lineup, with Louis Gorman, formerly on loan at Featherston, of course, dropping out of the side alongside Hugh Worthington and Chris Hellick. They recall into this match day 17 Aaron Small and Matthew Ross, and Dan Okoro, who joined the club on loan from Castleford this week, is on the bench. So London lineup like this: Luke Polselli is the fullback, 3-quarter line of Jack Smith, Brandon Webster Mansfield, Aaron Small and Liam Tyndall. Alex Walker partners Connor O'Byrne in the halves. Sadiq Adabi, Curtis Davis and Lewis Beanick are up front. Back row is Will Lovell, who captains the side alongside Ethan Natoli, and Marcus Stock rounds off the starting side for the visitors. On the bench, Ben Hersey-Horde, Tommy Porter, Dan Okoro, Matthew Ross, Chris Hellick is the 18th man. Will Paul Cook for Featherston makes 2 changes to the side that narrowly lost to Toulouse, as I mentioned earlier, with Pat Moran being recalled by Oldham and Josh Hardcastle dropping out of the matchday 17th to 18th man this afternoon. But Paul Cook able to recall Connor Wynne, who comes back into the side after missing through injury, and Sitileki Akawala comes onto the bench. So the Featherston lineup like this: Caleb Akins is the fullback, 3-quarter line of Connor Wynne, Gareth Gale, who reverts to the centres, James Glover, Daryl Alforts, Ben Reynolds once again partners Ryan Hampshire in the halves. Gadwin Springer is elevated to the starting side. He starts in the front row alongside Will Jubb and Jimmy Beckett. Brad Day, Clay Webb and Danny Addy, who captains the side from loose forward, round off the starting side. On the bench for Rovers, Connor Jones, Nathan Wild, Sitaleki Akawala and King Vuniyayawa. Josh Hardcastle is the 18th man. As I mentioned, Featherston, after a tricky and indifferent start to the season, have been in really good form, winning 7 of their last 9 matches, and a win today takes them to 5th place in the championship, and a good charge home for the end of the regular season. A little bit of history between the two clubs. This is the 39th meeting between the two sides. Featherston getting the better of London with 24 wins to the Broncos 13. And Featherston have a good record on home soil against London, winning 13 of their 16 clashes at home. And if we look at earlier this year, it's 1 apiece in regards to wins for either club, with Featherston winning 34 points to 6 earlier in the year in the 1895 Cup at Post Office Road. London just edging out Featherston by 14 points to 12 in the league in the nation's capital. And who could forget a little bit of a painful memory for Featherston, with London famously upsetting the odds and dumping them out of the playoffs in the 2013 Championship, which ultimately saw London promoted to the Super League. So a little bit of history, a little bit of feeling between these two clubs. And Paul Cook's side will be primed and ready to go against Mike Eccles' men, who've been resurgent in the last couple of months, really feeling the effects of relegation. Big changes to their squad. It's taken them a while to find their feet, but have knocked off a couple of big names, as I said, coming off a huge win in Sheffield last week, scoring a lot of points in the process, and Featherston will have to be on their game. In terms of defence, there's a healthy crowd turned up here at Post Office Road. A nice warm, dry afternoon. Pitch looks in good condition. We're just awaiting the two sides to come out. We'll have all the uninterrupted commentary on FRTV. The referee, the man in the middle in this game, is Ryan Cox. And interesting to see Paul Cook able to call on and not make too many changes, getting some consistency in his lineup, particularly in his spine. The likes of Caleb Akins, Ben Reynolds, Ryan Hampshire, Will Jubb all featuring once again. And it's paying dividends in improved form from Rovers in recent months. But a big clash this one, an important one in the context of Featherston's season. It's Betfred Championship round 19, Featherstone Rovers versus London Broncos. As the two sides about to come out onto the field. And a lot of anticipation around the ground. It's extremely tight logjam in the race for the lower places in the playoffs in the Betfred Championship, as I mentioned. Halifax and Barrow both sit currently one competition point above Featherstone. Both sides losing on Friday. Halifax going down to York on Friday night, and Barrow being beaten by Toulouse yesterday has opened the door for Paul Cook's men to elevate themselves back into the playoff places, which is ultimately the goal for the club as we head into the business point of the season. Able to get the likes of Connor Wynne back on deck this afternoon. Missed the last game through injury. Certainly welcome back his attacking prowess, try-scoring prowess. As the two sides come out onto the field for the first time. Featherstone, of course, led out by Danny Addy in their predominantly blue and white strip. London, led out by Will Lovell in their changed red and white strip. But for those who've watched the Super League, watched Rugby League for a while, we'll see that the away strip for London here is a bit of a tribute to their old historical shirt from a couple of decades ago, the early days of the Broncos. Two sides line up for the customary pre-game team shots, and after that we'll be ready to get the action underway. It's Featherstone Rovers versus London Broncos live on FRTV. Can Featherstone get back to winning ways and move up to 5th on the ladder in the process? The referee blows his whistle. The players are ready, we're ready. It looks like Featherstone will be attacking from right to left in this first half and will have first use of the ball here. It's a chance to make a statement early. Paul Cook's challenged his side in recent weeks to start games better, and the last time they were on home soil it was a fantastic start. And they'll be looking to start with the same momentum again this afternoon. Here we go then. Alex Walker puts boot to ball. Daryl Alferts will pouch it comfortably on the try line and hands it off to Beckett for the first carry of the game, and he's met a strong challenge there by Lovell, put on the deck just outside the Featherstone 10. Job at acting half, Webb. Been excellent and consistent in his first season since coming over from Australia. Plays it on the 20, middle of the field. Springer elevated to the starting lineup. Good low tackle on him by Davis. Adding out, just a big ball carry through the middle of the field, up and over the 30, but he's held in the tackle of Beanick and Lovell, who just got him going sideways a bit, but he's good yards on the opening 3 carries from Featherstone. Ball comes out to Beckett. Beckett just winds it up. Takes on Stock up and over the 40 now, and this will be the last one for Featherstone. Ball comes out to Hampshire. Hampshire gets the kick away under a little bit of pressure. That's going to go over the top. It just bounces up. It's taken there in the end by Liam Tyndall, who's put down inside his 20, formerly of Leeds Rhinos and Hull FC, of course. London now trying to work their way up outside their 20. They'll play it to Small. Coming through the middle there is Stock. Trying to get things moving up to the 30. He's put on the ground. Big tackle there by Springer. 3 tackles gone here for London. Davis skips out a dummy half, double pumps and almost slipped under Beckett there, who did a good job to put him to ground shy of the 40. Comes through the middle again. Stock comes out to Pulselli. And it's on out to Tyndall now, who's got a little bit of pace, and he's out on the outside, but that's a great bit of defensive work from Gale, who's flew in and had to stick with him all the way. He's a flyer down that left touchline and put him down out of play. And London showing their hand early, and in fact this is going to be pulled back, a late call here for a penalty for the shot on Aaron Small, who stayed down after the contact. And already this will be a penalty against Featherstone and a chance for London to go straight on the early attack here after just 2 minutes. And it was a big right to left shift through the hands. Small getting the last pass away to Tyndall, set him free down that left touchline. As I said, great defensive effort from Gale to get across and put him out of play, but penalised there for the shot. So just have a pause in play here while Small gets some attention. Really not well here. Still hasn't got up off the ground, and I'm not sure who it was from Featherston who came in to make the tackle. Can only imagine it was the edge defence of Connor Wynn, who's operating on that right edge. And the fans around the ground getting a little bit frustrated with how long this is taking, but the player safety is paramount here. He's sitting up now, Small. You'd imagine he's probably going to have to come from the field here, which will force an early reshuffle for London and Mike Eccles' side. On the resumption, it will be a penalty to London on the halfway line. He is back on his feet here. It'll be interesting to see whether he can carry on. Whether he's just had the wind taken out of his sails or there's a shoulder injury there, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks for now as if he's going to try and play on. Small, so London will get the penalty, and O'Byrne will put it into touch on that far side, and London will start their set 35 away from the Featherston line. So a defensive challenge coming up for Rovers here early in the piece. 2.5 minutes gone. London come right, Stock, who hands it on to Beanick. Beanick pumps the legs up to the 20, brought to ground by Springer. O'Byrne, where it's an acting half first receiver. Untidy pass along the deck, eventually finds its way into the hands of Webster Mansfield. And he's put to ground inside, just outside the Featherston 10 by Jubb. Davis, out it comes to Stock again. Out to O'Byrne, flat pass there at the line. And put on the ground was Natoli, plays it quickly for Davis. Adebayi trying to pump those legs to the line. He's held up well in a good tackle from Springer. They're right on the try line here, London. This will be the last one. 10 minutes on the left-hand side of the post. Switch play for Beanick. Runs at Day, who gets really good contact under the ball. And the Featherston defenders come from everywhere and turn London away. And that'll please Paul Cook. The first real inspection of his side's defence on the try line. And they come up trumps and get the ball back. Win now. First carry for him. He's put to ground by Davis inside his own 10. A little bit of pushing and shoving at the ruck, eventually plays it. Aikens, a little bit of late footwork, tries to step around Lovell. Lovell holds him up, puts him on the ground. A couple of tackles gone here. Featherston still deep inside their own half. Alfords looking for a relieving carry. He runs at Walker. Beanick's in there to help out over the top. He'll play it on his own 20. Out it comes down for Beckett. Beckett stands in the tackle. It's a good contact there from Adebayi. Still going Beckett up over the 30, relieving run, flat pass at the line for Addy, ball plays out the back to Hampshire. Out it comes now to Aikens, creating a little bit of space. Aikens tries to stand them up, cuts inside, weaving in traffic, beats another man, beaten 2 or 3 on that play. And then eventually just straightens up and makes 20 metres on the play. So Featherston have manufactured a decent set of 6 here. They'll play it on the last on halfway. It comes out to Hampshire. Hampshire puts it high again. Testing one out there for Tyndall. Tyndall takes it comfortably and then stumbles as he tries to get away from his man. Beats the first man in Jubb, but can't get away from the attention of Beckett, and that's a solid kick chase from Featherston. Small now looks to have shrugged off that earlier knock, backing his way up and over the 10. Brought to ground by Springer. Webster Mansfield. Standing in the challenge. Beckett's all over the ball here, puts him to ground on his own 20. Ball comes out now to Stock. Stock straightens and makes the best part of 6 or 7 metres after contact there, and untidy play of the ball, and he's deemed to have incorrectly played it. And that's a big result for Featherston. First mistake from London, and turn over the ball inside their own 40. And Featherston, having defended an opportunity for London down that end, will get their first attacking opportunity of the game. 5 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone 0, London 0. Springer, powerful run. Up to the 30 on the first tackle. Out it comes to Reynolds, first receiver, digs in, gives it to Hampshire. Out it comes to Aikens. Aikens tries to get around his man, but Webster Manfield was in off the edge to put stop to that play. 20 metres out now, they come forward. Addy evades the first man, can't get away from Davis. And the cavalry comes to finish him off. 20 metres out now. Centre field, Hampshire digs into the line to Aikens. Aikens out to Gale. Gale tries to straighten things up. Good tackle from O'Byrne on that edge. Featherstone are 10 metres away now. They come back through the middle. Hampshire looking to kick here for his opposite number. It bounces up for Paul Selly. Cries from Featherstone that Reynolds, the on-looking chaser, was taken off the ball but not given by the referee, and London take over possession. You can see what they were trying to do there, but the execution probably not quite where it needed to be. The fullback Paul Selly in good position, but London, after 2 tackles, still inside their own 10. Smith, on loan from Leeds Rhinos, the Leeds youngster, going nowhere on this play. He's put to ground by Day, plays it inside his own 20. Out the ball comes to O'Byrne, ball playing, double pumps. Shape to go through the line, he's put to ground by Springer and Addy. London still inside their own 30, a couple of tackles remaining. Stock goes forward, bumps away from one, but he's put to ground in the end with a posse of Featherstone defenders. This will be the last one. London kicking from deep through O'Byrne. Puts it high down the middle of the field. Taken on the full there by Aikens, 20 metres out. Has room to move. And Featherstone getting reward for the defensive efforts there. They'll start their set 35 metres away from their own line. Still no score here at the Millennium Stadium after 9 minutes. On FRTV, Nolferts with a big carry up and over at the Featherstone 40 towards the halfway line. Plays it centre field for Jubb. Glover now. Glover up and over that halfway line. Plenty of metres in the offering so far for Featherstone. Ball comes out to Addy now, ball playing, gives it to Springer, just took a simple drop off and a big carry through the middle up and over the London 40. Plays it for Jubb. Out it comes to Addy. Addy digs right into the line. That's a nice line for Beckett. Cut down in the tackle. Desperate tackle coming in there from Natoli. This will be the last one. Hampshire kicks from 20 out, puts it into that corner. Again looking for Tester, for Tyndall. It's bounced off Tyndall and over the dead ball line, and that will be a goal line dropout. So Featherstone just starting to turn the screw a little bit in attack. Patience and execution has been good, as there's just a stoppage here while Jimmy Beckett, the man down in back play, who did take the previous carry. It was a good carry, a big carry at pace, and he was cut down in a good low tackle and has just picked up a bit of an injury here, so we'll just have a pause while he receives attention. Remains Featherstone 0, London 0. On the resumption of play will be a dropout in Featherstone's favour, so they will get another set of 6 here to attack the London line. Beckett back on his feet, which is a good sign for Featherstone. He's going to be able to run this off. The physio puts the thumb in the air. And we'll be ready to get play back underway. What have Featherstone got in this attacking set? As the dropout comes from Smith. Lands just shot at the halfway line. And Addy with the first carry back off the restart. And he's met a solid challenge there from London, led by Beanick. They come forward. Beckett gives it on to Springer. Springer, customary run, keeps those legs pumping for another 5 metres or so up and over the London 30. Only the second tackle. Reynolds shapes to give it inside. Give it to Beckett. Very flirted with the idea of passing that forward, but did just enough in terms of timing. The shape right come left. Reynolds, flat pass for Webb. Webb tries to leave his man behind him, but a good tackle from Walker. Featherstone 10 metres out, 10 metres to the left-hand side of the post. Back through the middle they come, through Reynolds. Out it comes to Aikens. Aikens, dummies, drop of the shoulder, and he's absolutely smashed there by Beanick, who just closed the door on him unceremoniously, but the last one for Featherstone. The kick comes out from Reynolds, looking for Glover. Glover climbs high. Smith's dropped it, and it's punted out of the stadium by Alex Walker. And another goal line dropout coming up for Featherston here. Featherston asking a few questions. The kicking game at the moment paying dividends. There's a third set of 6 coming up in a row for Featherston. And as is the toughness of Caleb Aikens, he bounces straight back to his feet. And ready to take his place in the play. London just sucking in the breaths here. Taxing defensive work for them early in this one. But 0-0 is the score so far. And Smith has absolutely huge kick. That's got 60 metres on the full. Well taken by Aikens, who gives it to Springer. And Springer is good 15 metres to wind up before he met any London defenders. And he's lost the ball there in the first tackle. And the London defenders, high fives all around. And a big error coming in from Springer, who's furious with the call from the referee. And that's a huge let-off for London and a big miss for Featherston. Just see, he takes the first carry in here. You see where there was a raking arm there. There's still plenty of traffic. He wasn't even looking really to offload the ball. It came out, and I'm not so sure whether that didn't have some help, but the referee ruled it to be a loose carry going in London's favour. And the opportunity in the field position goes unconverted for Featherston. 13 minutes gone still. Featherston 0, London 0. London back in possession. Through Webster Mansfield. There's nowhere to go at the tackle of Glover. Adabehi playing in the middle. Glover doubles up on his defensive effort. Throws him to the ground on the halfway line. Davis wakes at acting half. They've got options left and right. They come right through Walker. Walker skips and steps his way through another few metres. Finds the offload for Davis, who took it. Gives it on to O'Byrne. Hands it off now to Natoli. Playing in that left channel. He's brought to ground on that far side by Hampshire. 35 out. Stock. Out the ball comes to O'Byrne. It's knocked down there. It's had some help by Reynolds. And this will be another set of 6 coming for London here off the touch of Reynolds. Real end-to-end stuff here in terms of both sides enjoying blocks of possession, if you like, in the opposition's half. But so far, nobody able to trouble the scorer. So we approach the 15-minute mark at the Millennium Stadium. It's Featherston 0, London 0. It's worth pointing out that the clock hasn't been stopped for those 2 brief stoppages for injury, so we may be a couple of minutes ahead of live time. So we just have another stoppage here while Beckett, more running repairs. In fact, he needs another shirt. He needs another top. Featherston currently down to 12 men while Beckett gets his shirt sorted. And they'll just give everybody a few seconds to rest again. But Featherston will be looking at a defensive set in their own half here. Some treatment for a cut under his chin by the looks of it down on this touchline here, Jimmy Beckett. There is a spare shirt here for the big front rower, but it certainly doesn't look like he's going to be coming off. He's back out on the field here, Jimmy Beckett. Now sporting number 38. He'll take his place in the scrum. So we'll restart play here. London 30 metres out. Full set of 6 on the Featherston line. Ball comes out to Webster Manfield. Tries to get away from Glover, but ridden to the ground there by Webb and Addy. 25 metres away from the line, first tackle. Back through the middle they come through. Adabi, who almost went without it, and he spins away from Springer, who comes again to haul him down just shy of the 10. Big defensive test coming for Featherston here. Davis fires the ball out to O'Byrne. Gives it out now to Natoli. Natoli's got the ball and hits the line. He's put to ground by Beckett, a metre out. Hampshire in there as well. Davis out the ball comes to Stock. Stock, good shot comes in from his opposite number there in the form of Danny Addy. And Day comes in there to complete the tackle. Bang in front of the post now, London. O'Byrne takes a flat pass from Lovell. It's a great tackle under the ball there from Reynolds. Try saver from the Featherston 6. Last tackle for the Broncos. O'Byrne digs into the line, kicks the ball through, and it's bumped and beaten everybody over the dead ball line. And in fact, in a weird turn of events, the ball actually got around Webster Manfield, who was claiming he was a chance at getting there, and it actually got blocked by the referee over the dead ball line. And the result is a 7-tackle set for Featherstone. Look, you see here on the replay, Webster Manfield goes close. The referee standing right in his line, which stopped him diving for the ball. I think you could probably say on reflection the ball was going to beat him anyway over the dead ball line, but he was claiming, protesting his innocence, that there should have been a different result. The referee very quick to make the call, and it will be a 7-tackle set with another stoppage here as Webster Manfield receives some attention. So stop-start opening quarter to this game. A couple of injuries, stoppages, 4 injuries. As Webster Manfield's been injured in the contest for that ball, and ultimately the contact he made with the referee. So not sure I've ever seen that happen before. We've often seen referees go down injured with contact with players, but not often the other way around. Whether he fell awkwardly after colliding with the referee, I'm not sure, but he's struggling with a shoulder or an arm problem here. He's going to try and tough it out for now. I don't know whether it's one of those ones where he's realised afterwards that he was carrying a knock, but he's okay to carry on, and the game carries on with Gale playing it 30 metres out, what will be the 0 tackle. So Alford's into the line now, makes 10 metres on that play, up to, plays it quickly for Jubb. Wynn to the line, up and over the 40, up towards the halfway line. So good in contact, Connor Wynn, still going forward. Plays it just shy of the halfway line. Vuniyawa on now, who's come onto the field for Springer in the last minute or so, and up and over the London 40 now. Still 0-0, looking for that opening score as Reynolds into the line, flat pass for Webb. Webster Mansfield looks to be okay, came in off his edge to make that tackle. Featherston a 30 out. Reynolds, out it comes to Addy, middle of the field, gives it out to Hampshire. Hampshire stutters, look to pass, just keeps hold of it himself. He's wrapped up there by Davis. This will be the last one. Reynolds is going to kick from 20 out. He's looking for a jumper on that side, and it's taken well in the end by Jack Smith on this near touchline side, who salvages possession for the Broncos. Webster Mansfield grabs across field, beats 1, beats 2, certainly seems to be not feeling the after effects of that collision. Plays it 10 out, two tackles gone. And Tyndall looking to get his side going forward. He breaks 2 or 3 metres, and he's lost the ball in contact there. He's lost the ball getting up to play it, and that's a second error in quick succession from Mike Eccles' side in their own half. Again, Tyndall claiming that there was a bit of a push there from the Featherston man as he was getting up to play the ball, but the referee having none of it. And the scrum head and feed will go to Featherston 10 metres out. 20 minutes gone, still no score. Featherston 0, London 0. Have Featherston got what it takes to get the game opening score here? Ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds double pumps dummies himself, and he's going to score here, as simple as you like, Ben Reynolds. A classic halfback's try, just got the ball straight off the scrum win on the outside of his man. He dummied on the outside, fended on the inside, and took defenders over the line with him. And after just over 20 minutes of the game here at the Millennium Stadium, Featherston have the opening score of the match and take the lead. They lead London by 4 points to 0. Ben Reynolds' 5th try of the season. And he just, as I said, lovely drop of the shoulder. Always trusts his running game and his instincts. And getting the rewards off the back of it. Like I said, got the ball off the scrum. It was a good wide ball. Got on the outside of his man, dummied on the outside, fended off the supporting defence that coming after him on the inside, and scores. And has the opportunity now to convert his own try. and put Featherstone out to a 6-point advantage. Featherstone have had to be patient, but eventually got the opening score of the game. Reynolds has the ball 20 metres out, about 10 metres in from this left touch line. And it comes off the post and bounces out, so the score remains Featherstone Rovers 4, London Broncos 0. That'll just slow things down for Featherstone. The opening score of the game going to Ben Reynolds. Off the back of a very costly error there from Tyndall and the London Broncos inside their own half. How often do we see teams punished for their mistakes, and London on the very first play after that scrum not able to defend their error? So Featherstone in front. Kick-off comes, taken by Hampshire on the 10, given to Beckett now. Beckett just clatters back into the London line. He's met there by Stock. Natoli. Day now. No nonsense carry through the middle. Wrestled to the ground by Beanick. And Davis plays it 20 out. Addy hands it on to Vuniyawa. Stands in the tackle, coming off the bench this week. Effectively swapping roles from last week with Springer. Plays it on the 30. Addy coming forward again up towards that 40-metre line and finds it. So good yards in the set after points from Featherstone. Slow play of the ball for Addy. Hampshire, low trajectory kick there along the deck. Taken by Paulselli. Paulselli is put to ground on the 30. So good defensive set from London in the sense that they didn't allow Hampshire to get a decent kick away. And now through the carry from Tyndall are up and over the 40 on the second tackle. Smith. Good contact by Webb. Still standing in the tackle. He's a big, tall, young winger and has to just go back a metre or so to play it where he was held. London into Featherstone territory now. Stock, shaped to pass it out wide, kept it himself and advances the ball up and over the Featherstone 40 now. Davis onto Adebayi. Good contact there from Vuniyawa, but keeps going Sadiq Adebayi. And this will be the last one for London. Going to kick from about 25 metres out. O'Byrne puts it high. Hasn't got a lot on it. Akins gets up high and claims it well on the 10 and is immediately enveloped by the London chasers. 25 minutes of the game gone. Featherstone's 4, London 0. The lone unconverted Ben Reynolds try the difference between the two sides as Featherstone come forward again through Wynne. Good tackle down low on him by Lovell with help from Walker. Glover now backs his way up and over the London 30, or the Featherstone 30, I beg your pardon. Jubbard acting half centre field, comes right to Vuniyawa. Big carry, good carry, up and over that 40. Will play it 5 short of the halfway line. This will be the last one for Featherstone, who short side raid. Hampshire does the kicking, a high kick straight down the middle. Taken, no nonsense there by Paulselli, who tries to get around the chasers, but Day and Gale combined to bring him down. So real set stuff here at the Millennium Stadium. Not many errors in the game so far, but London so far, the only side that have been punished for one they made a few minutes earlier as Webster Mansfield plays it. O'Byrne puts it on to Tyndall through the middle. And into the action now is Tommy Porter for the visitors. Lovell tries to go around his man. Glover is creeping up a little bit high and he is penalised there for just a little bit of a grab. But it is a penalty, and as a result London will find touch here and go on the attack. As Walker finds touch on this near side, London will start their set 30 metres away from the Featherstone line now. Webster Manfield taps it, just dummies and keeps hold of it himself. Takes the carry at his opposite man. He's put to ground by Webb and Reynolds in the end. 20 out, first tackle. Another big set defensively needed for Featherstone as they come left London. O'Byrne double pumps, keeps hold of it himself and eventually submits to the tackle. Another London man been left on the ground there after the pass had gone. He's quickly back to his feet, Stock. Beanick, route one carry, spins out of a challenge, still trying to go forward, Lewis Beanick, formerly of Hull FC. The last few seasons in the colours of London. Sadiq Arabai off the switch play around the ruck. Featherstone's defence was alert to the danger. Akins still trying to drive him back, eventually plays it. Trying to pinch one from dummy half here. It's Porter. A good defence on show from Featherstone again there on their goal line. This will be the last one. Pass comes out to O'Byrne. O'Byrne with the kick out wide. It's taken there by Walker and it's a penalty given against Featherstone, London for offside from the kick. So a relieving penalty for Featherstone, but good defence again on show from Paul Cook's side. Desperate defence. London threw plenty at them in that set, asked a few questions, and their goal line defence in the end was on the money, and they repel the Broncos' attack. Score remains Featherstone 4, London 0 on FRTV. The tap restart, Webb is dragged backwards towards his own 30. Vuniyayawa still going forward as Akawala comes onto the field for the first time, replaces Jimmy Beckett. So Paul Cook rotating both of his middle forwards. As Akawala straight into the action, takes defenders up and over the halfway line. Hampshire gives it to Day. Day trying to get on the outside of O'Byrne, and O'Byrne puts him to ground. 40 metres out from the London line. Hampshire. Flat pass for Akawala, who wasn't ready for it, but hands it on to Vuniyayawa. Reynolds out to Glover, a little bit of space here now as Glover cuts back through the middle, tries to straighten up the attack, and good tackle on the inside from Beanick again, cleaning up just in case. Last one, 30 metres out. Reynolds just puts it high here, trying to put Paul Selly under pressure, takes it well and goes straight to ground to evade the first defender, but submits to the tackle there, 2 metres from his own line. London come forward again here through Tyndall. Not many yards in the offering for him as Smith trying to go forward, bumps away from Webb, but ridden to the ground there by Jubb and Vuniyayawa. Still 15 metres from their own line here, London. 3 tackles gone. This is a good defensive set on show from Featherstone. As Porter skips out of dummy half up to the 40, so the 30, I beg your pardon. So good defensive set on show from Featherstone. This will be the last one. O'Byrne fires the kick towards that left edge. It's taken off the boot there by Akins, who just winds up, comes across field looking for the pass for Alfords, who hit the ball at pace, and he's caught high there by the London chaser. And through their enterprise and courage there and conviction of the run from Alfords, Will Lovell giving away a penalty, and Featherstone the kick to touch to go straight back on the attack here. Just under half an hour of the game gone at the Millennium Stadium. The score remains Featherstone 4, London 0. If you're just joining us, the Ben Reynolds unconverted try, the only score of the game so far, as Featherstone go to their bench again. Will Jubb off. Connor Jones into the action for the first time this afternoon. Long looping pass, a couple of passes out to Akawala off that touch finder, and Featherstone will start their set now on the first tackle inside the London 40. Akawala plays it. Jones at acting half. Addy, ball playing to Vuniyayawa. Takes a couple of metres after contact, put to ground by Porter. And Natoli. Addy, ball playing to Reynolds. Flat pass for Webb, who got on the outside of his man, but Walker did a good job just to haul him down 20 metres out. Jones, Reynolds, Addy. Shape to go right, comes back left to Jones again, weaving in traffic, gives it on the reverse to Webb. And grabbing hold of his shirt and eventually pulling him to ground is Hersey Horde, who's come onto the field for London. 12 metres out, just on the left-hand side of the post, Featherstone. Still a couple of tackles remaining. Addy out to Hampshire, it beats him into the arms of Akins, who puts the ball down. And the attack once again coming to nothing for Featherstone. Just not quite getting the execution right. It was a wayward pass. It beat Hampshire all ends up, fell into the path of Akins, just fumbled it as he was trying to pick it up. And again, the field position comes to nothing for Featherstone. And London will have the scrum win. ...20 metres from their own line. Half an hour of the game gone. London in possession now again through Webster Mansfield. Porter acting half to Tyndall. Good, solid contact there from Vuniyayawa. As we see Dan Okoro join the club on loan from Castleford this week. Comes onto the field to make his London debut in the middle of the field. A young Castleford forward. He's replaced Sadiq Adabai. Stock gives it to Okoro now. Okoro almost got round the first man. A good tackle from Webb, but gives away a quick play of the ball for Porter, who gives it to Stock over the halfway line to O'Byrne. Onto Natoli. Natoli taking defenders with him. This is a commanding set from London, but it will reach the final tackle 30 metres from the Featherstone line. O'Byrne gets the ball centre field. Puts it high again, looking to give the chasers a chance. Aiken comes through and takes it really, really well, but penalty goes against Featherstone for a shove off the ball, according to the referee. Interference on the London chasers, and there were plenty of them in the picture. You didn't see anybody hit the deck. But the referee ruling that it interfered illegally. O'Byrne. So look at the replay, it was Gale apparently stopping in the line there. Taking out Alex Walker. There's evidence to suggest that one of the London chasers may have strayed offside there, but as it is, it will be a restart for London off the penalty, and Okoro charges into the line and he's wrestled to the ground by Day, 10 metres out. Featherstone looking to protect a 4-0 lead. Hersey Horde now. Through the middle, he's put to ground by Vuniyayawa and Akawala in the middle, bang in front of the posts. Plays it, Porter. Gives it to O'Byrne, out it comes to Paul Selly. Good tackle off the edge there by Gale, who did just enough, and he comes again and put to ground by Jones this time. And the referee just stops playing, tells him to get on with it and play the ball. Porter, out to Stock. Stock shaped to keep hold of it himself. He's looking to get to the line. He's got to the ground there, Marcus Stock, and that's a little bit soft, if you were being completely honest, for Featherstone. Stock had the play through the middle of the field. He had a bit of a shape lined up on this right side. In the end, he kept hold of it, drop of the shoulder. And really, when he got to the ground there were two Featherstone defenders in attendance. He shouldn't have been allowed to score that try, but he was able to wrestle free of the Featherstone defender, Akawala and Addy, and get the ball to ground and levels up the scores here as we approach half-time. It's now Featherstone 4, London 4. And after all the good defence that Featherstone have done on their line, that play will have disappointed Paul Cook a little bit. There's not much in the offering there. Stock, as I said, just held up the line, put his head down, got underneath two Featherstone defenders and planted the ball on the ground. And Jack Smith, with the conversion attempt to put London out in front for the first time this afternoon, he's bang in front of the posts. Makes no mistake in converting the try. So with 35 minutes of the game gone at the Millennium Stadium, it's now Featherstone Rovers 4, London Broncos 6. You can just see again on the replay, Stock, he had Hersey Horde outside him, kept hold of it, bundled through two tackles in the shape of Vuniyayawa and Addy, and then just got down below Koala to get the ball down, and feel as though that's a try that Featherstone will be frustrated to have let in there just before half-time in the manner in which it was conceded. As we get the game back underway, kick-off taken on the try line by Walker, who gives it on to Okoro, and Okoro was rumbled through the line and skittling Featherstone defenders. Had an impact in the brief period he's been on the field, and now Stock turns from hero to villain. There's a miscommunication at the ruck there, and he just loses the ball. And the try scorer for London has now put his side immediately under pressure. As Featherstone will have the scrum feed here, 20 metres out, and a chance to respond immediately after going behind here. Stadium clock says 6.5 minutes to go to the break. As I said, the the clock that we have at the stadium not taking into account a few stoppages there, so maybe a few minutes behind in live play. The scrum feed here for Featherstone. Golden opportunity to take the lead back here. Hampshire steps, digs into the line, gives it to Aikins. Aikins had a little bit of a blind alley, and his easy work there in the end for Natoli. Addy drops off Funaiawa. Funaiawa will play it. Eventually 10 metres out, put on the ground by Stock. Addy. Out it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds, long looping pass. It's beaten everybody over the touchline there. The pass just out in front of Alfords, who couldn't get there in time to save it from going into touch. And back-to-back sets now from Featherstone, where they've had opportunity to put the London defence under real pressure and squandering possession early in the tackle count. Another let-off for the visitors. And it'll just be a turnover here, 15 metres away from the London line. And that'll certainly be something that Paul Cook will be saying to his side. Patience and execution. London in possession through Tyndall. Percy Horde. We'll play it 5 short of the 40. Stock. Out to Walker. Drops it off to Lovell. Lovell running in traffic. Still standing in the tackle, Will Lovell. Eventually put on the ground there by Addy and Jones. 5 short of halfway, London. Porter. Out it comes to O'Byrne. Inside to Paul Selly, and that's a great tackle, well read by Jones. Plays it quickly. Out it comes to Walker. Gives it to Okoro. Okoro's trying to spin out a tackle. Still going in contact to Okoro. And he's put to ground 40 metres away from the Featherstone line. This will be the last one. O'Byrne doing the kicking once again. The kick, high one, taken by Gale, and he's wrapped up there by Natoli. I'm not again sure was fully onside there. The referee just stopping play once again for players to get up and play the ball. The referee making this game quite stop-start, it has to be said. A number of players, I think, in situations like that should have just been allowed to play the ball, really. There's as much messing around at the play the ball from the defenders as there is from the player with the ball moving off the mark. But anyway, back again here, Wynne baying for a penalty and not giving one. The referee really not in the mood to penalise for any sort of holding down or ruck interference at the moment in this game. And Alfords, good carry through the middle of the field, almost bursting through the line. Good tackle from him on Okoro. Halfway line now, Featherstone. They come inside the London half. It's a pass out wide. It's knocked down by Small, and that will be another set for Featherstone. As they look to go on that short side raid, Hampshire looking to find the pass out wide for Gale. But the London centre getting his hand to the ball, knocking it down, and Featherstone will have a set of 6 now to attack the London line. 3.5 minutes to go to the break. Featherstone 4, London 6. Just that Jack Smith conversion, the difference between the two sides. 1 try apiece. As you're listening live on FRTV. A win this afternoon puts Featherstone back into the playoff places. London chasing their 6th win of the season. A set restart comes for the first time this afternoon. Nakawala is put on the ground by Lovell. So a full set of 6 now, 40 metres away from the line. Can Featherstone make this count just before half-time? Addy will play it centre field now. They're coming down the left through Hampshire, digs into the line. Pass for Glover right at the line, under pressure from Webster Mansfield and Smith. Slow play of the ball coming again here. Hampshire into the line to Addy. Addy flat pass there for Funaiawa, looking to get the arm free. Couldn't find an offload. Put on the ground by Natoli. They come right to Day now. He's bent backwards in the tackle from O'Byrne over the top. This will be the last one. Inside the London 10, they're on that right edge. Ball comes floating back to Reynolds. Reynolds, the hooking kick across field. And it's collected there by Walker, who's lost the ball in contact. And it's eventually found its way into the hands of Paul Selly. With the referee ruling, judging by the Featherstone's body language, ruling that there's an error or a touch come from Featherstone here, and London will get the ball back. We just see the replay as Walker got up and claimed it. He then lost the ball in contact with Glover. Whether the ball went backwards, not sure, but in the end, The referee ruling a scrum feed, head and feed to London. And with 90 seconds to go to the break, that might have been Featherston's final opportunity to get their second score in the first half. As it is, the score remains Featherston 4, London 6. Scrum feed is 1, Smith. Good into the ground by a trio of Featherston defenders there. Played on his own 10. Porter, Webster Mansfield. Harassing defence there from Akwala and Vuniyayawa, pushing him back with help from Clay Webb. Eventually plays it, Porter. Skips out a dummy half, and that's a good shot over the ball there from Vuniyayawa. Featherston's certainly been very physical and haven't struggled to go forward in this first half. It's just the polish on the end of sets has let them down a couple of occasions. As Okoro comes forward again, he's certainly had an impact for the visitors since coming off the bench. He'll play on the London 40. Ball comes out to Stock. Out it comes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne out to Walker. Walker to Webster Manfield. Tries to get on the outside of Glover, who does a good job to put him to ground with help from Reynolds. The 6 again coming against Featherston here. Paul Selly gives it to Okoro. Okoro looking to get the arm free, and the referee, after not penalising or ruling on any real interference or slowing down of play for the majority of the first half, has found 6 against both sides in the final few minutes of the first half, as Paul Selly comes forward again after bumping out a couple of tackles. Walker scramps and shoves his way away from Reynolds, pirouetting around, doesn't know what to do with the ball, and eventually put on the ground by Gale. A couple of 360s in that play from Walker, but not many metres gained forward. Stock playing a bit more direct. O'Byrne finds the pass for Natoli. Natoli put to ground again. Defence from Vuniyayawa and Hampshire. 20 metres out now, London. O'Byrne fires it out to Walker. Walker, flat pass for Lovell. That's a great tackle up and under the ball by Reynolds. Puts him to ground. Still a couple of tackles remaining for London. Centre field, they come again through Stock. Out it comes to O'Byrne, and that's a lovely chopping tackle from Vuniyayawa. Last one, 10 metres out. They come down this left edge. Walker looks to put the kick through. It's bounced up fortuitously for Walker, who's trying to get to the line, and there's a touch of fortune, it has to be said, for London there. But you ride your luck at times in this game. It was a terrible kick from Alex Walker. It just ricocheted and almost spun on its point there off a Featherston man, straight into the path of Walker, who just plunged over the line. There was nothing the Featherston defenders could do about it. And on the stroke of half-time, London land a big blow in the context of this game, as Alex Walker, the beneficiary of that ricochet off a Featherston man. Like I said, the ball just spinning almost in the same spot, bounced into his path, he scores, and London have their second try on the stroke of half-time. It's now Featherstone Rovers 4, London Broncos 10. And Alex Walker, the man, in his second spell at London, after a brief spell at Wakefield, playing in the halves this afternoon, just took the odds to it himself. There wasn't a great deal happening. Featherston's defence was solid. It was a solid line there. He couldn't quite get the kick through, but the ball just bouncing up perfectly for him. And Featherston, after missing a few chances, 2 or 3 chances in this first half with golden opportunities at the right end of the field, have conceded the second try, and the kick goes between the sticks from Walker, puts London out to an 8-point advantage. It's now Featherston 4, London 12. As the siren sounds, and that will bring to an end the first half action. And it's been an intriguing physical battle through the middle, in which both sides have enjoyed periods of possession in an end-to-end contest. Took 20 minutes to get the first score of the game, as Ben Reynolds dummied his way through from a scrum feed from close range to score, but then hit the post with a conversion to put Featherston out to a 4-0 lead. But since then, London have built back into the game, and Featherston's poor execution on the back of some ill discipline have given London chances. They got on the board themselves to take the lead on 32 minutes when Marcus Stock dummied and burrowed his way under the posts. Jack Smith converted, and then just on the stroke of half-time, as I mentioned, a bit of fortune around it. And Alex Walker kicking Ball ricocheted into his path. He scored to the left-hand side of the post. Jack Smith converted once again to leave Featherston staring down the barrel of an 8-point deficit at half-time. And Paul Cook will have a few things to say to his players to turn things around in the second half, but a big 40 minutes coming up for Featherston. But half-time at the Millennium Stadium on FRTV, it's Featherstone Rovers 4, London Broncos 12. We'll be back in a few minutes for all the second half action. Hello and welcome back to the Millennium Stadium in Featherston. We're at half-time here in this Betfred Championship round 19 clash between Featherstone Rovers and London Broncos. Featherston currently trailing by 12 points to 4 with an 8-point deficit to overturn in this second half. Featherston, interestingly, only been able to overturn a half-time deficit once this year against York at Post Office Road on Good Friday. The Paul Cook side will be looking to do the same again this afternoon to get back to winning ways. Other scores around the championship at half-time: Doncaster 26, Batley 6, Oldham 18, Hunslet 10, and Widnes 14, Bradford Bulls 10. Plenty of rugby still to be played this afternoon. Our priority and focus is here on FRTV. Featherston 4, London Broncos 12. Big second half coming up for Paul Cook's side. A place in the championship playoffs at stake here as the kickoff comes. Featherston attacking from left to right as we see in this second half, but London with first use of the ball, and a wobbly kickoff taken by Alex Walker eventually on the short of the try line, and Okoro comes forward. Featherston muscling up in defence here with Vuniyayawa and Akawala, chief defenders there. Ball comes out to Hersey Horde. He'll play it just outside the London 10. Natoli trying to get things going forward. It's good defence on show from Featherston again. Stock scored a try for London in that first half. Spun to the ground on the London 30. Good defensive set in the opening exchanges from Featherston as the kick comes down from O'Byrne. Doesn't get a lot on that. It's taken by Aikins, who gives it on to Wynn now, and Wynn up and over the 40-metre line already on the first tackle. So Paul Cook will be happy with that opening defensive effort from his side and set them up for good field position. Gale, head down. A slightly unfamiliar position in the centres this afternoon. Plays it on the halfway line. Alfords. But over the halfway. Paul Cook keeping his powder dry on a Nathan Wild we haven't seen yet so far this afternoon. And as Vuniyayawa up towards the London 30, middle of the tackle count. Jones at acting half. Out it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds drops off Glover. Glover just trying to hammer his way through the line, but sticking to the task was Stock. This will be the last one. Kicking from 20 out. In fact, it's this penultimate tackle, I beg your pardon. Comes out to Aikins, a little bit of room. Aikins doubles, accelerates through the gap, straightens things up and scores! Dots the ball down on the try line. The perfect start for the second half for Featherston, who you felt like had to be the first to score after half-time, and they've wasted no time in doing so. A little bit of ball playing from Addy in the middle. Eventually, it just gave the ball out early to Hampshire. Quick ball it was to Aikins, and Aikins just accelerated past O'Byrne, and then he did the rest. Fleet of foot, past the fullback, dots the ball down on the try line, calm as you like. And after 2 minutes of the second half, Featherston have their second try of the game. It's Featherston 8, London 12. And Aikins, time and time again, so dangerous. With ball in hand, that's his 14th try of the season. And every week, one of Featherston's most dependable, consistent and dangerous attacking threats. He's brought Featherston to within 4 points here. Reynolds with a kick. Difficult one. 10 metres in from this right touchline, 20 metres out, has the opportunity to make this just a 2-point game. Steps up to add the extra 2. Pilots the ball between the posts. And we do have ourselves a 2-point game here on FRTV. It's Featherstone Rovers 10 and London Broncos 12. Fantastic start from Paul Cook's side. They see their intent in the opening defensive set of the half, where they restricted London to just 30 metres. They worked their way downfield. Aikens with the opening score. And now Featherstone can start again, and Vuniyayawa off the back fence, taken by Porter, but up to the 20, and a quick play of the ball, which Jones skips out of dummy half and almost split them through the middle of the field. Space all of a sudden opening up around the ruck for Featherstone. Up to the 40 on the second play. Addy takes it forward, plays it just shy of halfway. Come right, Hampshire into the line, comes off his left foot, and is eventually taken there by Natoli and Okoro. But not before he's advanced the ball up 35 metres away from the London line now. Addy, middle of the field, comes out to Reynolds, drops off Webb back against the grain. It's a good contact on him by Stock, but he gets up and over the London 30, and that will be the last tackle. 70 metres on the set from Featherstone after points. Reynolds does the kicking on the last, puts it high, testing one for Paul Selly, takes it well, and he's clobbered by the Featherstone chasers and over the dead ball line, and you can't get a much better start to the second half than this. A converted try and a goal line dropout now on the very next set. It was the perfectly weighted kick from Ben Reynolds. Landed it right on the try line. Paul Selly was brave taking it, but he was immediately bundled over the try line by 3 Featherstone chasers. And Paul Cook getting exactly what he wanted from his side after half-time. Glover and Alfort's doing the damage there with Aikens to help. And Featherstone will go back on the attack. Attacking opportunity in a set to potentially take the lead here. Untidy kickoff taken by Reynolds and eventually given to Akawala with that famous one-handed carry of his. Play it 30 metres out now. Addy drops off Vuniyayawa again. Bit of change of direction, just testing out the London middles. He'll play it 25 out. Reynolds, first receiver. Drops off Akawala. Akawala bends in the line and stands in the tackle. Okoro. Played inside the 20. Reynolds comes off his left foot. Reynolds dangerous, but Lovell shuts the door on him. Timely intervention from the London skipper. Out the ball comes now to Addy. Addy, dummies, double pumps, comes off his right foot, looking for an offload. He's put to ground by Hersey Horde. And Lovell again, 10 metres out, just on the left-hand side of the post. They come open side. Hampshire drops off Day. Day's scragged to the ground there by Porter, who did just enough to knock him off his feet. Finished off by Lovell, and London survived that most recent attacking raid from Featherstone. 6.5 minutes of the second half gone. Featherstone 10, London 12, live on FRTV. Featherstone looking for their 10th win of the championship season, and to move into 5th place after round 19. London, Webster Mansfield, bumps away from one, can't get away from the second attempt of Vuniyayawa. It's difficult to put down Webster Mansfield. As a play through the middle from Smith, who's good on his feet, and almost split them through the middle there. Plays it 40 out. Stock to O'Byrne to Walker. Walker standing in the tackle, looking to find the offload, kept hold of it himself in the end. He'll play it on the halfway line. Back it comes to Stock, who just root one through the middle and almost left Vuniyayawa on the ground, but London will play it 40 metres away from the Featherstone line now. O'Byrne doing the kicking again, puts it high. Taken on the 10 by Aikens. Aikens with a little bit of space, but good chase in fairness from London. Featherstone will start their set 20 metres from their own line. Alfort's big carry through the middle, takes on Porter, who stands his ground. Alfort's gets up to the 30 now. Gale, straight up carry. As Wild comes into the game for the first time, replaces Akawala. So a good stint either side of half-time from Akawala, and Wild straight into the action now with a big carry up towards the halfway line. Put to ground by Stock and Porter. Hampshire kicking early, just chips it in behind the line. That'll be taken on one bounce by Paul Selly. Paul Selly just submits to the tackle on the 20. as Adebayi comes into the game to replace Stock for London. So both coaches replacing some forwards early in the second half. Just a 2-point game here, 9 minutes of the second half gone. Tyndall made his debut at Leeds and found his way to London via a spell at Hull FC last year. And the offload coming from Webster Mansfield, and Adebayi loses the ball, and London just a little bit of panic play in their own half there, just overplaying and coming up with the error. Good harassing defence from Featherstone forces the turnover, and it will be another opportunity for Featherston now to attack the London line. So scrum feed, about 35 metres away from the line. Scrum is won, ball comes out to Hampshire, off the left foot, big left footstep weaving through the middle, Ryan Hampshire, and takes on Paul Selly. And a bit of a statement of intent there from the halfback. Just testing the honesty of the London defence, who was caught napping in the first half. Wild beats the first man, but good tackle coming in from Okoro, help from Porter. Featherstone 20 metres out now. They come left down the short side. Reynolds drops off Alfons, who loses the ball, and it's picked up by Okoro. And once again, Featherstone guilty of surrendering possession in good field position and letting London off the hook. Webster Mansfield looking to clear his line. He's put to ground 20 out from his own try line. Porter, Adebayi, good tackle coming in there. Great shot, he's lost the ball there. Fantastic defence from Vuniyayawa, just cut Adebayi in half, forces the error. Featherstone will get another opportunity here on the back of solid defence. Fantastic physicality, that's the sort of stuff that Paul Cook wants from his forwards, particularly off the bench. You look at this tackle coming in here, just absolutely cuts him down, loses the ball as soon as he makes contact. Fantastic defence. And the scrum feed is won by Reynolds. Reynolds into the line, it comes to Aikins. Aikins created the extra man. Alfons almost going for the corner. He's going to cut back inside. Alfons and scores the try in the left corner. The second try of the game that Featherstone have scored straight off the scrum. And lovely, lovely play from Featherstone down the left edge through several sets of hands. Found its way to Alfons. Alfons cut back in and beat the last man. Scores Featherstone's third try of the game. And puts Featherstone back in front in this game. It's now Featherstone 14, London 12, with 12 minutes of the second half gone. Both sets of players coming together in a little bit of a scuffle there. Did see after the try was scored, Ben Reynolds had a few things to say to Webster Mansfield, and it resulted in a few players coming together, nothing more than a bit of shirt grabbing and pushing, perhaps some frustration from London in the ease of which they were cut open there, but terrific deception, terrific sleight of hand from Featherstone there. Reynolds and Aikins doing the damage, finding the ball in the hands of Alfons, who did the rest, took defenders over the line with him, scores in the left corner for his 15th try of the season. Goes one ahead of wing partner Connor Wynn in the process. But Featherstone taking full advantage this time, and Reynolds with the conversion attempt from just inside the left touchline. He's guided the ball between the sticks again. Takes the scoreline now on FRTV to Featherstone Rovers 16, London Broncos 12. Two quick-fire tries for Rovers to start this second half, and this completely changed the complexion of this game. London rightly look a little bit shell-shocked. The kick-off comes again from Walker to the try scorer Alfons, who hands it on to Vuniyayawa, who won the field position through his defence. He's met a strong challenge from London there, and he'll play it 15 away from his own line. Webb and over the 20. Wild comes forward, but over the 30. And the penalty comes against London there. Second effort on the ball. Things going from bad to worse for the visitors, as Featherstone are on a roll here. As Hampshire finds touch on this near side. Featherstone will start their set on the halfway line. Reynolds onto Vuniyayawa. He's making the tackle there from Lovell. Plays it on halfway. Addy drops off Wild. Wild almost lost his footing there going into contact, but did well to make the meters he did, up to just shy of the London 40. Addy takes defenders with him up to the 30. Quick play of the ball. Hampshire digs into the line to Wild. Wild stands in the tackle. Good tackle coming in low from Natoli. Over the top was Adebayi. 20 metres away from the line now. Hampshire into the line he comes. Reynolds. Reynolds flat pass there for Webb, who left the man behind him. Can Webb get to the line? He's shoving off defenders. He's going to go very close here, but London have just scrambled back to get a man underneath him. And there's a London man been left down in back play. It was a rampaging run from Clay Webb. Biggs, don't argue on him. I'm not sure who the man is. It may be Alex Walker for London here, who's just left in back play. He got all the way up to the try line, and then London just doing enough to get jerseys underneath the ball. And what would have been a certain try. Featherstone all the running with them at the moment. Let's just take a stoppage while Walker receives attention. 2 tries in the opening 12 minutes of the second half. Caleb Akins going over after just 2 minutes, and then a couple of minutes ago, Daryl Alforts getting his 5th try in 3 games. Puts Featherstone in front once again. But still plenty of this game to go. Webb has to go back 10 and will play it. Walker's okay to carry on. Danger not averted for London though, as Featherstone come forward again, looking for 3rd consecutive try. Hampshire to Akins. There's space out wide here for Akins, as Small did just enough to recover on the inside. Takes him to ground 10 metres out, and that will be the last tackle and a turnover for Featherstone. But not the worst place in the world to turn over possession. But London coming out of their corner. Tyndall rides the tackle. Addy in there to lead the Featherstone line. Small. Small is scragged backwards by the Featherstone defence. Plays it slowly now. Porter. Out it comes to Webster Mansfield. Plays it 15 away from his line. Porter skips out a dummy half. He's taken to ground just short of the 30 now. Featherstone doing a good job to restrict London's go forward once again. Adebayi has to take on Wild, who sticks to him and put to ground with help from Addy. London are going to have to kick deep inside their own half here. O'Byrne again. Puts it down the left edge, taken on the 10 on the full by Alforts. Has room to wind up. Takes it back at the London line, and he'll play the ball 20 metres out from his try line. A good setting, a good kick chase in fairness from London. As Paul Cook goes to his bench once again. King Vuniyayawa off, Gadwin Springer back into the action. 15 minutes of the second half gone on FRTV. Featherstone 16, London 12. Springer plays it eventually. Gale with a big carry, just takes Porter and Okoro with him, best part of 20 metres into the London half. Big carry from the centre. Addy, ball playing, gives it to Reynolds, drops off Glover. Glover hits the ball at pace, finds the offload there for Jones. He's got Hampshire in support. Hampshire will beat the last man. Fantastic play from Featherstone, who get their 3rd consecutive try. Ryan Hampshire, the man, scores it. And he's just wanting it more, playing with that intensity that London at the moment in the second half just can't go with. The direct nature of the play. Started with Glover, who came back against the grain, punched a hole through the line, found the offload for Connor Jones, who summed it up perfectly with Hampshire in support. A lovely offload round the corner from Glover. Jones always in support, and Hampshire, as any good halfback should be, on hand to touch it down just on the left-hand side of the post. And with 15 minutes of the second half gone, Featherstone have taken control of this game at the Millennium Stadium to lead London by 20 points to 12. Ben Reynolds with a much easier conversion attempt here. And Hampshire's 6th try of the season, 16 matches for Featherstone. They're slowly but surely building into his role consistently at half-back. And Featherstone really clicking into gear in this second half as Reynolds has the conversion attempt from more or less bang in front of the post. Guides the ball between the posts once again. Featherstone have a 10-point lead here at Post Office Road. They lead London by 22 points to 12. What a sequence of play from Featherstone. 3 tries back to back. Hampshire grabbing his 6th try of the season in the process. What a spell this has been from the home side. The kickoff comes now from Alex Walker, and taken there by Hampshire in the end, gives it on to Wild. Wild is taken on the 10 there. London need to do something to stop the momentum here. All of the running currently with Featherstone. Springer, big carry from him, actually put on the ground by Porter. Hampshire waves Uday underneath, well read by Adabayi. Addy up and over the 40. Good carry from the Featherstone captain again. This will be the last one. Hampshire doing the kicking, puts it down through the middle of the field, taken by Polselli back on that 10, who just tries to straighten things up and eventually runs at the waiting arms of Springer and Wild. Pushed backwards. We'll play it 20 metres out. Tyndall tries to straighten things up through the middle of the line. Tackled down low by Webb in the first instance. Davis is back on the field now for London. Lovell with a carry down that blind side. Makes the best part of 7 or 8 metres on the play up to the London 40. Davis, out it comes to Smith. Smith. Carry through the middle. Taking defenders with him, Jack Smith. But over the halfway line now. Plays it for Davis, out to Adabayi. Adabayi, how it comes to O'Byrne. O'Byrne digging into the line, looking to get his arms free, but couldn't find the offload. Eventually does now for Natoli. He's got men in support with Davis. Davis is going to race away and score. Here is he. Connor Wynn's done a fantastic job, and he's managed to hold him up on the try line. What a fantastic defensive effort from Connor Wynn. How on earth did he save that try? He looked for all money like Davis was going to score there. And that's arguably as big a play as any of the tries Featherstone have scored here this afternoon. How he managed to get back, roll him onto his back and stop him from getting the ball down is anyone's guess. But he was right on the spot there, the referee. And Featherstone have dodged a bullet there. London showing how dangerous they can be. Just creating something from nothing. They do have to go back 10 metres, and it will be the last tackle. So big play coming up now. London 10 metres out. O'Byrne gets it out the back to Polselli. He's gone to nobody. In fact, it's gone straight to Gareth Gale. And Gale was in the line there. Big defence and a penalty now coming. And the players come in from everywhere, so pushing and shoving. And they didn't like the way that Gale was put on the ground there. It's going to be a penalty against London for lifting him above the horizontal. Players taking exception to that, and everybody will come in and push and shove. And we'll just take a bit of a stoppage here while the referee tries to sort things out. Got 19 minutes to go here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone 22, London 12. The physio has put his thumb in the air, say Gareth Gale is okay. Has had a little bit of feeling in this game. And the referee just separates the two sides. Fantastic defensive effort again. You just can't speak enough of what an effort that was from Conor Wynne. He had absolutely no right to make that tackle and save that try. He came from the wrong side of the field. He managed to get Davis onto the ground, spin him around and get underneath him, all in a fraction of a second, when it looked for all money like Davis was a way to score the try, which would have brought London right back into this game. The scores around the ground, as you see it, Doncaster blown out to a big scoreline, 30 points to 12, they lead Batley. Oldham 42 points to 10 in front against Hunslet, and a level game at Widnes, 16 points apiece against Bradford Bulls. What a result that would be if they can get something from that game. Widnes, in the context of the season they've had, Bradford of course challenging for honours up at the top of the table. And as it is, you can see the table there. Featherstone would move up to 5th place if things stay as they are in terms of the result here. And Featherstone, with a blistering third quarter of the game, have put themselves in the box seat to achieve just that. Interesting to see what the referee is going to rule here. I don't think there's going to be anything more than a penalty here. The referee just speaking to both captains in Danny Addy and Will Lovell, but it will be a penalty against London, and compounds a frustrating 60 seconds or so of play for them. There's the touch finder on this near side from Hampshire. Now they'll start their set 40 metres from their own line. Gale taps it, runs back at the defence again. O'Byrne was the man who was penalised for the previous tackle on Gale. Both players coming together once again. Springer up and over the halfway line now. Bumpers up. Runs into the teeth of the London defence. Beanick, chief tackler there with Adebayi. Hampshire. Kick through the middle here, looking for Akins. It's a fantastic one. Will he get the bounce? Caleb Akins. He bounces up for him and he gets his second try of the game. And he's mobbed by his teammates, and a fantastic play once again from Featherstone. Eyes up from Hampshire. It was just the second tackle in the set. He just chipped it against the grain back through the middle. Obviously got a call in the lead up from Akins, who read it perfectly. He had to wait, he had to be patient for the bounce. Eventually got the bounce he wanted and took the London defender over the line with him. 4 back-to-back tries in the second half without response from Featherstone, who now lead London by 26 points to 12. And you can see here on the replay, fantastic vision from Hampshire, and the execution. Saw that there was no fullback at home. The first couple of bounces weren't kind. He had to wait 3 times for the ball to bounce up for him. Eventually he gets the bounce he wanted, and there was nothing that Paul Selly could do to prevent Akins from getting his 15th try of the season. And more importantly, it's delivered another hammer blow and another nail in the coffin in the context of this game for London. And Featherstone are running riot in the second half. And Reynolds again from just to the left-hand side of the posts has the opportunity to extend the lead out to 16 points here for Featherstone, and he does so without any problems. Scoreline now on FRTV: Featherstone Rovers 28, London Broncos 12. Just look at the try again. The vision and execution from both players. We were talking about the execution in the first half. Well, it's been excellent so far in the second, and what a try that was. It's brought the Millennium Stadium crowd to their feet. 4 tries in quick succession. Featherstone in complete control of this contest now, but still plenty of the game remaining. They make about 16 minutes. The kickoff taken through the hands, it goes to Springer. Springer just takes on the defence on that far side. And he'll be brought down 25 away from his own line on the first play. Wild. Through the middle he comes, beats the first man. Finding plenty of room around the ruck now in the second half, Featherstone. Alfords. Spins away from Walker. But can't get away from the attention of Lovell and Davies. It comes down to Addy. He's put to ground on the halfway line. A little bit of cramp here for the Featherstone captain, Hampshire. Flat pass there for Day. A good tackle in off the edge. Brave tackle coming in from O'Byrne. And it had to be to make the contact to put him down. Hampshire on the last. Kicks from 40 out. Dribbles it along the line. This is going to stand up in the in goal. In fact, it's going to kick on over the dead ball line. So not quite the result he was looking for, Hampshire. 7 tackle set coming up for London, who aren't allowed to take it quickly. I did say that there was cramp for Addy. I'm not sure if that is the case. He is limping towards the touchline here, so Paul Cook going to the bench. And Akawala coming back into the action, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Smith comes forward for London. On the 40 now, London. Carry coming in from Ross, who's getting his first piece of the action this afternoon off the bench from Mike Eccles' side. He'll play it 5 short of halfway. They come right now. Walker digs into the line, comes off his little right foot. It's the offload out for O'Byrne. Now it comes now for Ross, who doubles up on the carry up to the Featherstone 40. Out it comes to Walker. Walker out to Webster Mansfield, who's collared a little bit high there. Finds the offload back in field for Smith. Did well, and he's clipped high again there, Glover. And I think he probably got away with one on the previous play, but not this time. Just creeping up high on Jack Smith. And a penalty going against the Featherstone centre, who protests his innocence, but the referee very quick to put the whistle to his lips, and London will get a penalty. And they're going to go on the attack for the first time in what feels like a long time, really. 13 minutes of the game remaining. Featherstone 28, London 12. 4 tries without reply for Featherstone in this second half has seen them in control of this game, but a try for London here could just open the door ajar for them. Featherstone will be keen to keep them out as Webster Mansfield plays it. Beanick back into the game a few minutes ago. He's still going. Beanick finds the offload for Davies, who's lost it. But it went backwards, and then Jones dropped the ball. In fact, it's going to be a knock-on against London, I think. In fact, is he given the knock-on against Featherstone here? He's given head and feet to London, so he must have given that the ball went backwards off Davies and was then knocked on by Akins. And a little bit of fortune for London, perhaps, there on that one. Time starting to become an issue for London. Scrum feed 10 metres out. Ball is in the hands of O'Byrne. Drops off Polselli. Polselli weaving through the middle. It only finds the clutches of Akawala. And he's put to ground a couple of metres short of the try line. 10 metres to the left-hand side of the post. They come back open side now. Ross spins out of 1, tries to spin out of 2, can't get away from Akins, who did just enough to put him on the ground there. Plays it quickly, O'Byrne. O'Byrne dummies and goes himself, O'Byrne, and he's taken the man over the line with him. And the referee has ruled that he has scored. And Connor O'Byrne gives London a glimmer of hope with under 12 minutes to go. Just a drop of the shoulder, he took the ball to the line, dummied it, opened up marginally for him. He's a big, tall frame, took the defender over the line with him, and gets London's first score of the second half. It's now Featherstone Rovers 28, London Broncos 16. You can see on the replay, it was just a quick play of the ball. Featherstone fans around us not convinced that he got the ball to the line. Day couldn't get to him. You can see there on the replay, the tip of the ball does brush the grass, and the referee was very quick to award it. London have given themselves a flicker of hope here. Featherstone will be disappointed to have conceded late in the tackle count. Jack Smith with the conversion attempt, about 15 metres in from this left touchline, 20 metres out. And he adds the extra 2 for the visitors. It's now Featherstone 28, London Broncos 18. Ten-point game, 10 minutes to go here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone go on to win this and take 5th spot on the championship ladder. The kickoff was a wobbly one out to that far side, taken by Webster Mansfield, who carts the ball back. He's put to ground by Webb inside the 20. Out it comes to Lovell now. Lovell to the line. Not many metres gained forward by the London skipper. Plays it for Beanick. Beanick winds things up. He'll play it. Comes out to Natoli. Finds an untidy offload for Davis, who just has to dive on the ball and keep possession for his side. Day was all over him. On his own on their own 40 now, London. Adebayi takes the ball from O'Byrne, standing in traffic. He's pushed to the ground there with a bit of help from Springer. That'll be the last one. London will play it 5 short of halfway. Centrefield kick coming from O'Byrne, under a little bit of pressure from Webb. Gets plenty of it. Taken on the full there by Aikens. There's a little bit of room to wind up. And gets to the 20 before he meets the London defensive line. 9 minutes to go here. 28 points to 18, Featherstone lead. Alfords will play it 20 out. Glover. It's another interchange coming. Will Jubb onto the field for Gadwin Springer, and Akawala coming off as well now by the looks of things. Addy going back on, so the skipper evidently okay to carry on here, shaking off that knock that saw him withdrawn a few minutes ago. Reynolds drops off Webb. Webb. Webb will play it 40 out. Hampshire puts boot to ball again, testing one, hasn't got a load of depth on this one. Paulselli does well to take it, but the Featherston defence equal to the task. Reynolds cuts him down there on the 10. Webster Mansfield. Strong contact coming in there from Wild and Addy. Tyndall. Not much space in the offering for Hims. He's trying to get things going forward. He's put to ground by Day and Hampshire. 25 out now, London. 3 tackles gone. Ross. Tries to make ground. London still inside their own 30. Come now through O'Byrne into the line. Tries to drop the shoulder and slip his way through, but can't get past Gale and Hampshire this time. This will be the last one. Kick comes from Paulselli this time, taken on the full by Alfords, and that's a big defensive set from Featherstone. As Alfords finds the pass for Reynolds, who gives it to Aikens. Aikens skips into the line and he'll be tackled on the Featherstone 40. So good harassing defence from Featherstone, wins them territory once again. Win. Trying to go over the halfway line as he's hammered there in the tackle for O'Byrne. Does well to make a couple of extra metres forward. Gale couldn't get away from the attention of Abayu, flew out of the line to take him to ground. Addy, nowhere to go, just takes the tackle of Ross here with Adebayo in to help out. 40 metres out now, Featherstone. 6.5 minutes to go, still leading by 10 points. Out it comes to Reynolds, out it comes to Aikens. Webster Mansfield came in off his edge there to wrap up the ball. Good defensive effort from him. Just closes down the attack. Last tackle for Featherstone. Hampshire skips away from 1-2. Hampshire through the middle of the field. Grubbers for himself. He's knocked off there at the ball, and Paulselli picked it up, and the referee very quick to rule that there was interference on Hampshire there, and it'll be a penalty to Featherstone. Be interesting to see what they do. They're going to go for the 2 here. Just wind the clock down, take some pace out of the game as we go inside 6 minutes remaining. It's good eyes up play from Hampshire again there. Skipped away from a couple of eager chasers. Space opened up for him a little bit through the middle, towed it through, and the London defender couldn't help himself. Knocked him off the ball, and conceded a penalty. A very kickable one from a man from Ben Reynolds standards. Featherston just content to chew up a bit of time here. They're in charge, they're in control on the scoreboard. About 25 metres out, I beg your pardon. 15 metres in from the left touchline. 4 from 5 so far this afternoon for Ben Reynolds. Can he put Featherston 12 points ahead? Guides the ball between the sticks once again. As Featherston hit the 30-point mark, they lead London Broncos by 30 points to 18. Short kick-off coming from London now. Taken by Glover, who does very, very well to take it and stay inside the field of play. Typifies a lot of what Featherston have done right in this second half, as Glover is a little bit groggy getting up to play that one, or maybe he's just playing for time. In fact, there's the cramp issue with Glover. As Alfords comes forward. It's Wild. Jubb playing as a little bit of a middle forward now in the middle. With Jones on at the same time. They come short side on the left. Reynolds is knocked down there by Adebayi, and the ball knocked off his hand, and that will be another set of 6 coming for Featherston now. As Reynolds bounces to his feet. According to the stadium clock, which might not be completely accurate, it's just over 3 minutes of the game remaining. Featherston leading by 30 points to 18. Featherston heading for their 8th win in the last 10 matches. Which will take them to 5th place in the table after 19 rounds. The ball comes out to Hampshire. Hampshire comes off his right foot to the line again. And he will play the ball 35 metres away from the line as Caleb Akins is announced as the club man of the match. 2 tries this afternoon, both in the second half for Akins. Been instrumental in this fight back from Featherston. Featherston looking to finish with a flourish here. Addy. Hampshire beats his man, skips through the line and almost got away, finds the offload now for Jones. Jones dummies through the line, he's got defenders going backwards. Beanick grabs hold of the shirt. He's still going to the line here. Paul Selly and Beanick do just enough to stop him from getting the ball to the ground. Jubb waits at acting half. A 6 again coming now. They were too slow, London. So a full set of 6 on the line. Jubb pitches one from dummy half. Dummies and dives over. And that will be the try that wraps it up beyond doubt for Featherston now. Will Jubb just back onto the field in the last few minutes. Connor Jones went very close, played the ball a fraction of a metre short, and then Jubb, the big outrageous dummy, dived through the half line there, the retreating line of London, and scores the try that puts the game to bed for Featherston. They now lead London by 34 points to 18. And with inside 2 minutes remaining, the 2 points are going to Featherston. You can see Jubb there just dummied. It's only Beanick in support there. The London defence just caught flat-footed, and he dived over without barely a finger laid on him. And that rounds off a fantastic afternoon, particularly second half from Featherston. 5 tries to 1 so far in this second half. $34 points to 18 now. And Will Jubb getting his 4th try for Featherston in 25 matches. And Reynolds now with a relatively simple one from just to the left-hand side of the posts. Guides the ball between the sticks once again. 6 from 7 this afternoon for Reynolds. That's the scoreline now. Featherstone Rovers 36, London Broncos 18. 16 points individually from Reynolds on the day as well. Fine afternoon from him. As the kickoff comes, it was a relatively nothing kickoff that from London. It was too long for any of the chasers to realistically have a chance at getting in. It was easy for Glover. As we're inside the final minutes or so here at the Millennium Stadium, the job is done for Featherstone. They will move back into the playoff places with this win. Come from behind win, just the second time this season they've overturned a half-time deficit to get the result, and Paul Cook will be delighted with the attitude, the directness, the physicality that they played in this second half with. As the siren sounds, it brings an end to the action here at the Millennium Stadium. And as I mentioned, a huge second half effort to overturn this one for Featherstone. They trailed by 12 points to 4 at half time, but then came flying out of the blocks with 4 tries without reply. A double to Caleb Aikins, with a Daryl Alfort's try and a Ryan Hampshire try sandwiched in between. London could only muster 1 consolation try through Conor O'Byrne with 10 minutes remaining. Then Ben Reynolds' penalty and a try in the last minute to Will Jubb has seen Featherstone come out resounding winners here this afternoon in Betfred Championship Round 19 clash. They knew that coming into this game, a win would help them leapfrog both Barrow and Halifax into 5th place. And although they were punished a couple of times in this first half and were guilty of perhaps not taking their chances in the second half, it was a completely different story. They came out with renewed energy. The execution was fantastic, playing some really thrilling rugby in the process. It delighted this big, healthy Millennium Stadium crowd. As you see Rovers' next 5 fixtures, the run home, an important next 5 games for them as the playoffs get ever closer. But as it is, Featherstone have come out worthy winners with a dominant second half display over London. They get their 10th win of the championship season, move into 5th place, full time here at the Millennium Stadium. It's finished Featherstone Rovers 36, London Broncos 18. Thank you very much for listening on FRTV. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.